Hello, everyone, and welcome to D&D News. I am Greg Tito, and I'm here to say that we are live streaming on today. That's Tuesday. Yes. Okay, good. It's working. I see all of you here in chat. Hi, Jack. Hi, Josie. What is up? Aggie Bear, Stabby Rogue Games, DC. Hannah and Wild Rose Mage. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am going to turn off looking at my face and just have the chat open for y'all. It's a day. It is Tuesday. We are here in Washington State starting our stay in place today. So even though we've been working from home for quite a while, it is now official. Going to be here doing all that fun stuff, and I get to show off my amazing game room. This is my game room here. It is super fun to be able to show it off for you. I have some of my minis here in the process of being organized. Eventually, I'll have it all displayed on these shelves up here, so that when I'm able to play with folks again, I can just quickly. I'm even gonna label it. I'm gonna have label makers printed out with being like humanoids and giants, dragons. I'd be able to grab all of them on the fly, and then maybe one day I'll level up with some scenery and all that fun stuff to do it. But like many people, I'm jumping into the online play. And I will be hopefully figuring out ways to broadcast, not just from here using this webcam, but I'm even thinking about ways to do top-down camera installations and all that jazz. Maybe put a camera in the Mind Flayer behind here so you can get like a tentacle view of what's happening. We are leveling up slowly here. As you can see, I've got a fancy new microphone. Hopefully that sounds good. We got this installed for the recording of Dragon Talk, which we were able to do Friday, with some live streaming happening from here as well. Shelly and I spoke to Maud Garrett last week, and it was fantastic. She surprised us with being, here's some role playing, and did a very good intro into what it's like to play with a rules light way of playing, and I really appreciated that, and it was fantastic. So look for that episode of Dragon Talk to come out on all of the feeds on Thursday, but you can most likely view that video now. And with the rest of the Dungeons & Dragons team, I am starting to get them all up to speed on live streaming and doing all types of video content. So this is I'm being a guinea pig for y'all. I know everyone's been streaming and doing stuff like this from their home spaces for a long time, but it's relatively new for me, and it's exciting. So thank you for going on this journey with me. This is D&D News, so we get to talk about all the fun stuff, and the biggest thing to chat about is, of course, this book right here that I've got in my hand. This is Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. This is available right now from everywhere that you purchase Dungeons & Dragons content. And I just want to say that imagination is a strange and wonderful thing. Information drives innovation and inspires communal creation. For this geeky theater kid, imagination was my solace. That's from the intro from Matthew Mercer, who is, of course, the progenitor of all of the content within Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, as his role is the Dungeon Master for Critical Role for these last 5 years. And I've had a long relationship with Matt over the years, and it's so great to see a geeky theater kid come into his own, just like he has been doing, and I really appreciate it. So I know I've been seeing all of the folks on social media, mostly on Twitter, talking about getting this book. It's either talking about Wildemount or Animal Crossing, and I am here for both of those pieces of content, so I'm very excited, and I want to see about more people getting into playing some of the content within this book, including some of the adventures. And speaking of which, as everybody is leveling up with their online D&D play, we have an article up on dungeonsanddragons.com right now that has tons of information about how to start playing online, as well as a link to our friends at Roll20 having the introductory adventure for Explorer's Guide to Wildemount available for you to download. I actually, you know what? That link's not on here right now, but we're going to add it ASAP because it is super cool and available for you to jump into, and that's why we are all here. D&D Adventurers League has got tons of things available for it as well. And we will be making it a lot more stuff kind of available, trying to get folks into playing online, because Dungeons & Dragons has that wonderful communal ability of everybody getting together and imagining a epic story. And I think that is certainly what people are needing right now. And even though we are needing to be in different places, we will all get together and make this fun. Hey, Cypher of Tyr, I'm actually using, it has a specific name that I'm going to get wrong, but it is a RE20. These are called RE20s. These are the ones that we used for Dragon Talk. So I was able to get that from the office before we closed down for real. So that's what I am using. Hopefully it sounds good. I'm trying to get it going for y'all. So yeah, let's talk more about what's happening for Dungeons & Dragons. So we mentioned Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. That is out now. I also have... where is it? I also have the Laeral Silver... Here it is. Laeral Silverhand's Explorer's Kit. This is available everywhere. I totally stole Office Supplies Turbo KKV. You're totally right. But this has got a chock full of content. I think I opened this on a previous D&D news, so I won't open this now. But, hey, perhaps in the future I will take it out and let you show everything. You get this amazing blue and silver dice set. Hopefully you can see it. Here, let me go to OBS so that I can actually allow you to view it, and I can actually view what I'm saying. Yes, I'm pointing it this way for some silly reason. Well, it's because there's a glare. But it is beautiful with the blue and silver dice. You get 2 huge D20s so that you can roll with advantage. And within it, there is a dice box that you can hold your stuff in, as well as tons of lore information in it. And I love it. So good stuff. And it is available wherever you are able to get Dungeons & Dragons accessories now. Hopefully ordering it and getting it to your house. I was going to show this just because I have it open. Ooh, did you hear that? That was a treasure trove. This is modeled off of the Descent into Avernus dice set, which is here. And it's got a similar form factor as well as amazing things here. And so if you're still in the midst of doing a Descent into Avernus game, you can still pick up that, and that has tons of information on everyone's favorite monster, the Abyssal Chicken. That is right. Everything you could possibly need for that. I also want to let you know that more figurines of adorable power are available to everyone. I've got this one physically open for you to see. This is everyone's favorite monster, the Flumph. They are, in fact, adorable. This one is pinkish and peachish colored, which I adore. That means that they're happy. And then you can move this a little bit, and they're like, "Hi, how are you guys? I'm a Flumph." That's right. The power of farts allows them to move. But they come in a couple of different colors. This one's got a little bit of a green tint to the legs. And for those of you who don't know, Flumphs change color based on their mood, like a mood ring. So I'm not sure exactly what this pink guy is saying, but I'm imagining he's saying, "I love you." And I appreciate that. This one is saying, I feel a little bit sick, like I'm going to throw up. Which is gross, but also apropos for Flumphs, if I do say so. Oddly enough, I've got a lot of them back here. I've got a box. I just grabbed it from the office so I could show it off. I thought they were all different, but it looks like they're all just versions of these 2 colors out there. And normally we'd be setting up some giveaways for folks, but with shipping being as it is, I'm not sure when we would be able to get it out to you. But let it be known, you out there will hopefully receive some of these Flumphs and or some of the other figurines of power which are out now, and I'm going to show you what they look like. Yes, here are some of them. You get a GIF as well as a Mimic. I saw a very large version of this Mimic at New York Toy Fair in the Ultra Pro booth there, and you might have seen on Twitter, I took a picture of myself being eaten by this very Mimic. There's also the Gazer over there, which is quite adorable. I gotta say, the GIF kind of takes this little group away though with the tiny monocle. I mean, come on, that's adorable. You can't go wrong with anything that's got one tiny monocle. That's like, how are ya? I don't know. That's not how GIFs talk at all, but they are. That's how they talk in my brain. So yeah, those are available from our friends at Ultra Pro. So go check it out. There's, it's on top of another line that's got some other beautiful things like a red dragon and whatnot. So if you have a taste for adorable figurines of power, and that's literally what the line is called, figurines of adorable power, you can get more for you out there, and jump into it if you can. Some other fun stuff that I wanted to talk about in the same vein of products that are coming out there. How many of you guys played Mad Libs when you were a kid or just more recently? Well, I did. I played them a tons, and now there are some D&D Mad Libs out there now. I love how they used the world's greatest word game along with the world's greatest role-playing game to combine using Tyler Jacobson's amazing artwork of the red dragon flying above Neverwinter. I was going to say Waterdeep. Nope, that's Neverwinter, people. So these are out now, and I don't have a physical copy of them in hand, so I can't do some Mad Libs, but I think that would be some really fun content that you guys might like to do with me. So I'll hopefully get my hands on at least maybe a digital representation of those so that we can play some D&D Mad Libs. Hopefully you can play them out there. If for those of you who don't know what Mad Libs are, and I'm sure there might be some of you out there, you basically have a story in front of you, and then you go through and say, I need an adverb, I need a article, or I need a noun, plural noun, and you do all those whole list of weird. Sometimes it's more fun if you just randomly throw some things out there, and then you read a story, then insert in the words that everyone kind of crowdsourced and put out there. So sometimes it doesn't make any sense, and sometimes it creates super hilarious, fun stories. And I imagine it's the same with a D&D Mad Libs, right? I know. I see Lisa Penrose saying, oh my God, Mad Libs, blast from the past. I can't wait. There's going to be a ton of them out there for folks to jump into. I need a monstrosity. Yeah, I know, right? Not halfwing. That would be really cool if it was like monster, or spell from Dungeons and Dragons. I hope that's the direction that they went. But it would make my heart sing if they did such a thing, for sure. I screwed up and I forgot to put in some images of these books ahead of time, so I won't be able to show you exactly what they look like, but I do want to mention that Mythic Odysseys of Theros is coming out on June 2nd. You have to clap when you say that. That is another D&D source book, and maybe I can do some searching and add to this in a second as I'm trying to talking through it. So if my brain pauses while I'm doing it, just let me know. But it is, no, that's not it. Where did I put them? I'm already screwing up and just concentrating on things that I'm clicking. Mythic Odysseys of Theros is a book that will give you everything you need to know about how to run a campaign within the Magic the Gathering world of Theros. What is Theros, you might ask? Well, it is a Greek myth, classically themed world with gods and goddesses vying for control of the underworld. Tons of I don't want to say Bronze Age, but just definitely and it's not medieval. It doesn't have medieval fantasy things with castles and knights and chivalry and whatnot. It's much more grounded in hoplites and that type of classical zero in the Christian era type thing of storytelling. And I love that because I'm a huge fan of Greek myths, and I've been reading Greek myths with my kids a whole bunch. And so being able to set a D&D campaign within that world is going to be fantastic. And I wish I had the covers to be able to show to you right now. They are fantastic and bring to light all of the aspects of that type of storytelling that I think you would really love. So look, we'll be showing more information, doing more lore you should know about that world in the future. But you want to make sure you're aware. Put it on your calendars. June 2nd, Mystic Odysseys of Theros. And there is, as always, fun stuff that you can delve into from a D&D storytelling angle. Even if you're not going to set your campaign directly within Theros, you can use a lot of the information within to spice up your game and use the flavor of those storytelling moments within it if you can. I wanted to show off a couple of fun news articles that came out in the last few days, I should say, instead of the last few week, because that doesn't make any sense when you say that. There are great things happening, and one of the best ones is one that I want to start with, and it goes into Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. So this is a review up on Polygon. The headline is pretty great. Dungeons & Dragons Critical Role book is one of the best campaign guides published for 5th edition. Wow, that's pretty great. Great. And I like this little call out quote as well. Perfect for introductory games or one-shot adventures. And I think I agree 100% with Charlie Hall's assessment here. What a great review. And if you're interested or on the fence about whether or not you wanted to pick up Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, let your fears or doubts be assuaged by Mr. Charlie Hall's amazing review. Really great stuff. Made with love. And Matthew Mercer's work feels essential, and all of that I think is all very true. So get out there and grab it if you can. Thank you again to Charlie for writing that article. Another fun piece of news. This actually came out, I think, on last Tuesday, but wanted to share it with you. How tabletop RPG actual play shows are inspiring a new generation of fans and products. This is a long article from VentureBeat. I was a source on it, as well as tons of people within the community, including Tanya, Cypher of Tyr, as talking about Rivals of Waterdeep and the burst of energy that has come from folks playing D&D online and then broadcasting it on platforms like this here, Twitch. So it's a long read. I think this is 3 full pages, and it's worthwhile. It's got a lot of information from Liz Shu, director of publishing and licensing here at Dungeons & Dragons. And as I said, lots of information from various other sources and other RPG companies out there. So take a listen and read it take a listen. I don't know if you have text to audio software, but you can also just read it if you want, if you can get through all the ads and whatnot. But it is great if you're interested in seeing a little bit behind the curtain about how we are setting up Dungeons & Dragons to be more of a entertainment than play out there, and how that has changed the landscape. I think a lot more people have gotten into the game because of it. So good stuff all around there. I also want to point out CNN having 20 board games and puzzles for the best family game night. Betrayal at House on the Hill is perennially on these lists, but I like to point it out as often as I can for folks, because it's a great game. And if you can't get together or start up a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, your next best thing is playing Betrayal at House on the Hill, because it does have that replayability factor of what's been going on. Oops, sorry. I started D&D Rewind there in a second, but we'll start playing that in about 9 minutes. This article from BuzzFeed also does a pretty good job of showing off 27 card and board games you might want to buy now that you are spending more time at home. Kind of a longish title there from our friends at BuzzFeed, but it is great, especially this pull-out quote. Dungeons & Dragons is the, capital, all caps, the ultimate role-playing game, and I think it's pretty true. Yes, the choir of angles from Rewind. Yes, thank you, Lauren. Good stuff. So yeah, I love all those good articles all around. Many folks are doing roundups like this, and I think we'll probably add them to our tips and tricks article out there so that more folks get into playing D&D online now that we are in our homes as much as we are. I think there's a lot of opportunity for that. And to that point, here's this last article from Self. 9 ways to keep your social life alive while stuck at home. Now is the perfect time to get into D&D. I didn't say it. They said it. It is the perfect time to get into D&D, but I think that was already now. I think that was every time is the perfect time to get into D&D if you haven't done it already. So I firmly am on board with all of that, and I hope you are too. How has that been going, by the way? Have you any of you kind of jumped in or tried to play differently now that it's more difficult to meet up in person? I haven't yet, but I'm experimenting and trying to get into it. I am. I downloaded Fantasy Grounds. I've been checking out Roll20. There's a lot of stuff in there for sure, and I want to see how to make it and level up my own game in that regard. Aggie Bear, you're getting ready for Avernus game on Roll20 right now. How's that going? Fluffy Snowfall, you're running your Curse of Strahd campaign online this weekend. Cool. Good thing you had the module already. I need to try it. I don't know. It's been something that I haven't needed to jump into, and they say necessity is the mother of learning online tools. That's not what they say, but I'm here for it for sure. I, in the meantime, have been sipping a lot of water from my Gary Con cup here in front of me. I actually all my D&D mugs are out of commission. They're being washed right now. So yeah, I've got this mug instead. Do you like how we're advertising Electro Voice Model 309A right here? It's one of the best models out there, that Electro Voice model. Maybe I'll turn this around in the future. So yeah, there you go. Maybe I'll start. You know what I should do is I should put some D&D stickers up here as well, so that we are always branding like we like to do here on D&D News. Okay, so I want to get into showing you D&D Rewind for this week. How does that sound? I am a big fan of everyone who is continuing to play Dungeons & Dragons through Twitch as well as online, although I know a lot of folks are in a readjustment phase, and that's cool too. Everybody is doing that. So I am been inspired by everyone who's continuing to play, and like I said, I'm going to start leveling up my own ability to do that. But before we get to D&D Rewind, I want to just say that the role-playing moments and things that people have been doing have been really great, and I want to continue that push forward to continue to innovate and get bigger. Don't think like you have to jump all in right away. This is something that I've been telling folks on the D&D team. You got to level up slowly over time, just like your D&D character. And I've been doing that here. You know, I didn't have a microphone ahead of time. I didn't have a webcam, but I'm slowly learning the software, how to do OBS a little bit easier and better, and do baby steps. You know, it's just important to do and to try new things during this time period. And I would suggest folks go out and do it too. And so let everyone who is shown in this D&D Rewind be an inspiration to you as they are to me. So here we go. Without further blathering from this here dude, let's talk about what's happening on this week's D&D Rewind.
I'm not sure if you notice how this world works, but you earth skin fucks shit on drow. I grew up being called a dirt elf, but it's your kind that is dirt. It's not my fault I was born this way. It's not their fault for being born begging for scraps like beaten dogs. What do you get out of this? You wanted to show me power? You're just a tyrant, a manipulator. You don't care about these people. You may look like a human, but you act like an orc.
When I was 5, I was bought by an orc. When I was 7, I killed my first man. Most of my life I have been a slave, and let me tell you something. Every word I said back there to those people was true. You don't see it now. But the only way to escape the chains of this city are to break them violently. I had to kill my captain in order to get out from under him. I know what it is to be a slave in every sense of the word. And let me tell you something. I have no interest in ruling over these people. But I have every interest in turning this city into something new.
Okay. I technically rolled initiative, but Neferit is not going towards the battle right now. What does Neferit know about the administrative side of the Court of Blood? AK, is there a manager they can talk to?
Roll.
I love it.
Of all the questions I thought I would be asked today, roll me a history check.
Please get really high on this.
That's a 19.
Yes. A 19. Yes, there's a games master.
But make it D&D. So we give the lovely contestants who we're going to introduce in a second down below, we give them 15 minutes to fulfill a D&D 5th edition design challenge while my lovely host Matt and I put together a lovely rubric with chat that at the end of the day doesn't matter because we are all winners as long as we're having fun or being traumatized by a 15-minute design challenge.
And so Unicorn turns back to you, November, and says, well, unfortunately, that was a product of the sphere in which I was trapped. But I promise you, I will be a beacon of good and light in this terrible place.
Everybody quickly get in the car.
Oh my god, I love this. So you're all getting into the car, like, yeah, okay, bye.
We wish you good health.
So this takes an hour. She pulls out the diamond, she puts it on Orkira's chest. And over the course of the hour, she is cleaning and preparing the body, straightening things out, anything that's come loose, trying to mend as much as she can. And the whole time, a little subconsciously under her breath, she's humming a song that she remembers her mother singing when she was young, when her mom would heal people. And she's just... And then I'm going to take my own head in my own hands. And just before I cast the spell, I'm going to one last time pray to the Phoenix. And the role-playing of this is she says, I know I'm not the real one. I'm trying to help your friend. So if you can help me in any way with this, I would really appreciate it. And she's, along with raising dead, she's going to cast divine intervention and hope that the Phoenix will help in this moment.
Roll divine intervention.
I'd like you to roll it, Todd.
Oh.
We talked about this before. And then she will cast also her 5th level spell, the last one that she has, which is Raise Dead.
Oh, no.
And I'm just holding my own head in my hand.
What's the number?
It has to be my level or lower, so 10.
Okay.
The raised dead will
wait.
Can't affect it.
It can. It's a
It's
D.
a percentage roll.
It's a percentage roll.
The raised dead should still happen. This is just the simulacrum doesn't think she'll survive this moment, and so she's reaching out with everything she's got left.
It's a 4. It's a 4.
Please help in this moment, please.
I'm taking a photo of it. You pray to the Phoenix, and you cast Raise Dead, and the body erupts into flames and shrivels before you. And then all of that fire and all of that ash just flows directly into your chest. And you feel warm again for the very first time. And your wings extend and erupt into flames, and just pouring of fire erupts and fills the entire mausoleum, but the fire doesn't burn anyone else around you. And you can feel the Phoenix again, and you have all of your memories. And the Eldrex that was dead before you just disappears as all of that ash and all of that fire just suffuses with who you are right now as a person. And you're alive.
Hi.
Wow. Great stuff all around. I'm at a loss for words, but kudos to everyone who does everything, keeping their D&D stories going, despite all the hardship that happens to your characters as well as to their players themselves. But good, amazing work from everyone. I see more and more folks are going to be doing that talking head in a box style of D&D show during this time frame, and I can't wait to see that as what occurs out there. If you would like to get more D&D content highlighted on D&D Rewind, some of the best ways to do that is to watch everything here on twitch.tv/D&D and then make a clip of it so that you can share it out to anybody that is on that platform as well as on social media. Maybe tag in some of the folks who are in that clip so that they can amplify it, and our esteemed editor, Steve Sprinkles, will take all that information and make it possible for that to be highlighted here on D&D Rewind. A lot of that comes from you and your input there, so make it so. Speaking of your input and how you can make things happen, you can play in some D&D Adventurers League. That's right. We are organizing ways for folks to jump in and play more D&D Adventurers League stuff out there. In case you didn't know, D&D Adventurers League is the official play campaign for Dungeons & Dragons, which allows you to create a character within Adventurers League and take them from your home game to a game store to anywhere where D&D Adventurers League play is happening, including online now in this area. And there are some new things available that you can download from Dungeon Masters Guild. We'll get to that in a second. But I want to show off some of it here. Eberron, Oracle of War, Salvage Bases and Missions. Check out that cover. That looks fantastic. I love to see everything that I've been seeing about Eberron, Oracle of War. It is a campaign within the Adventurers League set in Eberron, all about going into the Mournland and finding out and what happened there, perhaps, or just discovering more that is happening within it. Eberron, of course, is our setting in Dungeons & Dragons, in which there's a lot of magic out there that allows play and stories to dramatize themes of the early 20th century. So there is an old war that occurs. At the end of that war, a event takes over the Morn lands and destroys it. It was a functioning nation before then, and now 2 years later, characters are going into it, and then this Oracle of War campaign dramatizes some of that, and this product, Salvage Bases and Missions, allows you to build your own home base in the terrifying Mornland setting, including run ready-to-play adventures, allowing characters to collect a new resource called Salvage, and you can use that salvage to upgrade your bases, giving it the ability to travel all over that world. It includes rules, guidelines, and tables to help DMs design their own missions out there, which I think is fantastic. I love all types of D&D gameplay that involves strongholds and mission and bases and things like that. I don't know, maybe it's the strategy gamer in me, but I love to use that to its fullest within Dungeons and Dragons, and I am excited to delve into that for Eberron, and I hope you are too. So you can download that now on Dungeon Masters Guild. Like I said, I'll get to that in a second to give you more details on what's happening with the DMs Guild. On to talking about Adventurers League Online. So as I mentioned, there are ways to play. If you're itching to play D&D but not wanting to risk yourself or others getting sick, what you can do is head over to dndadventurersleague.org. Noah Grand, AL writer and organizer, he wrote up an article about how to play Adventurers League online, as well. The AL admin, Amy, collected a whole bunch of resources out there that you can use to do that. There's also, to shout out Luke Gygax and his convention that was to take place in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, where Dungeons & Dragons was first published. They did not end up doing a actual GaryCon, but there is a virtual GaryCon 12 this week, starting on March 26th, going to the 29th. And if you want to be a DM or player, you can go to vtt.garycon.com to play in homebrew games or Adventurers League games. And there are still some opening seats available for Avernus Rising, which is the campaign taking place in Descent into Avernus, and all that fun stuff that's going on there. There are always Dungeon Masters opening up new tables, and I think this is something that's going to be really exciting moving forward, is more in-person tabletop conventions going to this kind of virtual setup. I think that's going to be really, really interesting going forward. I unfortunately don't have any images to share of people getting together, because that would also be a bad thing. But I, in its place, would love to tell you out there listening, watching D&D News right now, to start submitting photos of your group playing online in Adventurers League if you can. They don't need to be setups of groups playing together, but anything that is just, even if it's just a picture of your screen where everybody's face is video chatting, playing D&D together. I want to show off groups enjoying and getting together around the communal virtual table as well as the physical one. So send those images into community@dndadventurersleague.org, as well as any shout outs to the players or anything that you want to feel comfortable sharing. I'm happy to spread the good word about how people are using Dungeons & Dragons to connect online during these times right now. So please tell everyone, send those photos into community@dndadventurersleague.org. I would really appreciate it. Okay, some fun stuff to talk about for Dungeon Masters Guild that I want to share with you. DungeonMastersGuild.com is your go-to marketplace for licensed D&D adventurers and supplements. If you just want to figure out a last-minute one-shot that you want to run online, you can do that at Dungeon Masters Guild. It's perfect for player options for your character concept, rules for building custom golems, or harvesting and crafting monster loot, more. Dungeon Masters Guild has got you covered, and you can also publish stuff on that in order to make some money using our IP, which is super interesting. Dungeon Masters Guild is celebrating this week International Earth Day, or that was last Friday, with a bundle of nature-inspired titles. You can save 72% when you snag magic items for your druid or your ranger. You can play as a moth, an owl, or a plant fae. Strike fear into your players with fauna and fungi. Huh? Who's a fun guy? You are. And you can find out about that using the link for Dungeon Masters Guild, which I'm going to put in chat myself because I'm not sure if the mods have that available for you right now. Oh, nope, there it is. Hannah has got you covered. Check it out if you can. I love anything that is inspired by nature. My daughter is 8, and I think she's basically a druid at heart. She loves turning into animals and pretending that she's an animal, as well as my 2 daughters this week were recognizing that we had flowers in our front yard, and they were some of them were clipped, and they ended up personifying those flowers and talking to them. And I basically said, "Oh, so you cast Speak with Plants, did you?" And she's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's a druid spell." She's like, "Whoa, I don't have that one yet." I'm like, "Well, you're gonna level up and get that for sure, because you're gonna need it." I love it. So speaking of being able to get our younger audiences involved in things for Dungeons and Dragons, I want to highlight the 4th book for the Young Adventurer's Guides that came out recently. This one is called Wizards and Spells. It is part of a group of 4 now out there that are written with the younger readers in mind, but not necessarily devoted to them. In fact, I just enjoy reading their summaries of spells and things that are out there right now. I'm going to read to you some of them that are, because spells can be something that's a little bit hard for people to grok, right? And so the way that Jim Zub, Stacey King, and Andrew Wheeler wrote about these just brings it to life, and not to mention the amazing artwork that was commissioned for these books out there. So, Speak with Animals. The school is divination. The Speak with Animals spell allows you to understand and verbally communicate with beasts for up to 10 minutes at a time. Striking up conversations with local wildlife is a good way to find out what's happening in the area. I've used this to great effect during my D&D campaigns. But here are some great things. Spell tips. Most animals aren't very smart compared to people. Don't expect complex conversations or detailed descriptions unless they're hedgehogs drunk on fermented apples in the City of the Dead in Waterdeep. That way, in those ways, they can be very complex. And just because you can speak to an animal, though, doesn't mean they'll be your friend. Some animals are angry, hungry, or just want to be left alone. And that is true of people, too. Pro tip out there. But these books are fantastic. They're a great way, as I said, to introduce D&D-like concepts into younger readers out there. And this Wizards and Spells is fantastic. And I'll be reading some experts from that over the next few weeks as we get into more fun stuff on D&D news here. So I mentioned a couple of fun things already. I'm going to go back and do some more details about the figurines of adorable power. There are a bunch out there. As I said, there's the Flump, the Gif, the Gazer, and the Mimic. Previously released were the Owlbear and the Red Dragon. There is also more information here about the D&D Mad Libs, which I wanted to get into and make sure that you guys all knew. So again, these are the D&D Mad Libs here. You can play as a gnome, a half-orc, or a toaster oven. Yeah, I think that's the nouns that are in there. You can embark on a jiggly quest to ride peacocks into battle and enjoy 21 fill-in-the-blank stories based on Dungeons & Dragons. I think that is great stuff, and you should all jump in if you can. It's available for purchase now. You can get them through Amazon or at the Barnes & Noble website if you so choose. Also want to let people know about Warriors of Waterdeep. That is a game that you can play on your phone. I probably shouldn't be showing off personal notifications on my phone as I'm doing that. But it is a fantastic tactical turn-based strategy game that allows you to recruit party members. Some you may recognize from other pieces of D&D source material, and get into some fun stuff out there. So there is some new content happening, including these Silver Hand trial events that are happening in March. So They can you can play through some multi-stage PvP events to collect some prizes, as well as a final prize each week in a silver hand themed weapon for your specific hero that you might enjoy. And completing the event is the only way to get the first copy of that item. You can assemble your team of heroes to fight deadly animals across the Forgotten Realms, and that is super fun to do. In case you're looking for some fun stuff to pass the time during these moments. I would also like to shout out some other fun stuff that I mentioned earlier on in this, and then after that, I'm going to open up a blind box of amazing Icons of the Realms minis from our friends at WizKids. These Volo and Mordenkainen Foes set is particularly awesome, so I'm going to open them up and see what I get, and maybe play with some of those minis before I close this out. The amazing Pelham Green did let me see some of these things. I mentioned Mythic Odysseys of Theros. That you can play as well as some subclasses like the Bard's College of Eloquence and Paladin's Oath of Heroism that you might have seen in previous Unearthed Arcanas that have been out there. Of course, the ones that will end up in the book will be a little bit different, but you might have gotten a hint of what those might be like from Unearthed Arcana. There's also some supernatural gifts that you can jump into. Not GIFs, but gifts with a T at the end. Abilities that set your character apart from the common throng. They're kind of mechanically similar to character races, but each one will give you a variety of traits that your specific hero can do. Think of them as like special abilities that only mythic heroes can be able to jump into, as well as god weapons. Anybody who's ever had an artifact weapon or something that is particularly powerful as wielded by a D&D character knows that they feel very epic when you get them, and there will be signature items of the gods that will allow your character to stand apart from other heroes within this book. They can be a gift from your deity, or perhaps you took it from them, stole it boldly, and are able to maybe defeat some of those gods now that you have their god weapons around in your possession. Dun dun dun. I need a god weapon, I think, to open up this box, because it's kind of hard to do otherwise. Let me try and see if I can use my letter opener. This letter opener might be a god weapon in some ways. I was actually just thinking about this the other day. This letter opener I took from it was a prop, actually, in a play that I was stagehand for in New York City. It was one of the first things I did when I was there in the year 2000. It was a play called The Bitter Tears of Petra von Kant, I believe. It was adapted from an Italian play, but I always just loved how this was almost like Klingon-like, this letter opener, and I've kept it for nigh on 20 years now and still use it to open up miniature boxes. So there's a little tidbit for you. All right, so let's see what I got in this blind box from our friends at WizKids. As I said, they are always exciting for me. Ooh, I'd never seen this one before. Apologies there. Ooh, this is a spirit troll. Hello. Why won't you focus when I'm my face? I see I have to cover my face again. So there it goes. See? How do I do it without seeing it? Oh, there we go. This is a spirit troll. One day I'll figure out how to get this autofocus to work. I should do that thing where they do it on talk shows where they like go to another camera and like have like a specific place where I can set that up. Maybe I'll level that up later on. But I like this. Definitely trolls are used on many a D&D campaign, but spirit trolls, how are you going to use them? I don't know. Ooh. This is a Miezel. Hello, Miezel. Can you just focus on that, please, for the love of all that's holy? I really do have to like hide my face because it always wants to focus on my face. I want to get it in the high definition. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Oh, there we go. Oh, I did it for a second, and then it saw my eyes, and I wanted to focus on that instead. Hello, I am a Miezel. I am in low definition because I don't know how to get to focus there. Sorry about that. Again, we'll figure this out as we get better at it. But let's see what this third miniature is. I went with the big one first. I probably should have done that later. Oh, I've been getting a lot of these Darrow. Makes me want to go back and play Out of the Abyss. Gosh dang it. Oh, there we go. That might focus it a little bit better. Although, wait, I feel like it's focusing down here on my beard. I don't want it to do that. We'll level up, guys. We'll get better at this. Trust me. All right, last one. Certainly not the least one. Or maybe it is, because it looks like it is quite small. Let us see what we get. Oh. You know, I usually like locks, but this guy, he's a mean lock. Mean lock. Oh, dang it. I'm going to hide. Hi. Oh, well, that worked a little bit. Oh, it was there for a second. It's not working, you guys. I need to see how this can be done. You know, I might just get a setting also. Maybe it's a camera setting I can do that I can shift and just allow the close up of this to happen. But this guy's got some tendrils coming out of his face. He's mean. He's a mean lock, but very tiny. And I want to maybe he can be my friend. But I got two small creatures in this one. Got the Darrow and this guy, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on?" "Nothing. Leave me alone. I'm not small. I'm big." And then the spirit troll is like, "I'm the biggest one. I will destroy you." And then he tries to go through him, and he's not able to because he's made of spirit goo and not actually physical at all. Yeah, those are my guys. Maybe they're gonna hang out and play with this flump. "Hello, I am a happy flump. I'm a spirit troll, and I am going to eat you. No." This is whenever be a perfect moment for my wife to like walk in, and she's like, "What are you doing?" "Nothing. I'm making content on Twitch for everyone to enjoy." I miss you guys. It has been very great to be able to hang out with you for this hour. We'll be doing a lot more going forward. I have not put anything in my mouth yet, Pelham, yet. And now maybe I'll just do it. Yes, exactly. Thank you for everyone who's getting my references for Spaceballs. Maybe I'll put that on the rotation and watch some Spaceballs again going forward. All right, I've got time to open up one more blind box. You guys ready? Sorry about the volume. I think that was actually me not talking into the microphone. That is part of the deal. You have to do this right here. It's good because that means you're not picking up all of the... Why is this tape so gosh dang strong? Did you see that? That was me like rolling like a check here trying to get it open. And then it finally did cut. Okay, good. Here, you guys ready for this? Let me see if I can roll higher on my strength check. Ready? What? What was that? That thing like ripped open and flew across. Oh my goodness. That, yeah. I did not flip you the bird. That's not what happened at all. I might have been just how I was doing it. Yeah, rolled a nat one. I don't think that was a mini. That was actually just like a piece of the box that flew away. But look at this. We got a choker. What's up, choker? Another tiny little miniature. I know you probably can't see it, and it's probably not in focus, but we'll figure out about that. And one thing that I never really knew about the choker is got these weird 5 hands things, and I'm not a fan. Those kind of freak me out. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I cut off my finger. Ooh, I'm always looking for more actual animal miniatures, especially as we're playing on lower levels with my kids. This is a Shadow Mastiff that I will definitely be using as a dog figurine going forward, maybe as an animal companion. I like that Mastiff. He's creepy looking. Not definitely one of my friends, but we shall see. Uh-oh, I just hit the... Never mind. All right, and here's the third miniature in this box. They get 4 of them out there. Ooh, I've never seen this one before. This is an orc, but it's a Claw of Mythic orc. He looks creepy. He's got like some paint on his face, similar to the White Hand orcs in Two Towers. And then he's got this nice little shock of hair, which you don't see on orcs very often, flowing off. Good stuff from that miniature sculpt. And then the big one for this one is a large miniature, but it's not that large. It's a Lucrata. Hello, Lucrata. I don't know. Oh, I just broke it. I don't know about this one, so I want to find out more, and I'll look this up in Volos or Morning Cannons. I want to know more about this Lucrata. It's a large size base, and I want to see what they're all about. Do you guys know? Do you guys know about the Lucrata? And it's spelled Lucrata. There you go. Good stuff. I love all these miniatures. I'll be showing them off more and more in the weeks to come on more D&D newses. And here I'm trying to create this like little display for you to see. This is what we go to so that you guys can see all of the fun D&D things we got here. Wizards and spells, figurines of adorable power. Hi, Alpha Stream. I love you. And we got our spirituals and all of our fun miniatures that we got to open up on this live stream. If you haven't, check out Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. Sources say that it's really good, and I agree. I've been reading it, and I love it. Thank you, everyone who's been able to hang out with us for D&D news. I will be back next week. Check out some fun content here on twitch.tv/D&D all week long. And for those of you who are leveling up in how to play Dungeons & Dragons online, I give you a point of inspiration. Inspiration to you. I don't know if that's what that says, but consider it gotten. You're all wonderful. Follow me on the Twitters, on the Instagram. Find out more about Dungeons & Dragons, on how to play remotely. We've got an article up on our website, as I said, but there's tons of other resources out there. And we lean on you, the community, to spread the word on how to bring together folks playing D&D in these weeks and months. And we appreciate every single one of you. Thank you all. I'm signing off. You're all the best. Good night.